Okay, I am being told that we are good to go here for the next run. So this is going to be Skull Island, Rise of Kong, being run by Lemming.
Hello, good evening, morning, and the in-between. We are here near the end of our marathon with Skull Island, Rise of Kong. Have you ever wondered to yourself, gee, King Kong seems like a cool guy. What is his origin story? Well, we'll get into part of it, as well as a couple other peculiar things here with this Game Mill special, a highlight of 2023. Not too much to get into here. Time will start when I overwrite my save file here, and we should be in for a good time, not a long time. Let's get kicked off here with timers starting in 3, 2, 1, go. And get a little bit of a loading screen here, skipping some cutscenes. A pretty significant chunk of this here speedrun is a tutorial. No way to skip the tutorial, no way to even skip the prompts that the tutorial wants to tell us about, so we will try and get through this as quick as we can here. Now, this here is not King Kong, exactly, this is Mama Kong. The cutscene that we skipped involves her hearing little King Kong in peril, so she's going to investigate. Her hearing is apparently impeccable because King Kong is quite a bit far away here. Luckily, we do have speed skips here, like getting over this waterfall. That is not intended, and really, none of what we're about to see here is terribly intended. Fortunately, this tutorial does kind of fold into each other, and we can do a lot of little skips like that. I know it says climbable branches right there should be climbed. I'm not really into that. I prefer a little bit of neutral jumping up the vines and hoping for the best. If you joined my... if you joined Speedromizer earlier in the day here, you may have seen my Ultimate 9 run where we did a lot of long jumping to progress, and that has a similar quality here in Kong too, although whenever there's a flat surface, we do of course prefer a bit of a shoulder dash. Walking in general is just really frowned upon. Now, we are of course kind of getting beat up here. That is intentional. This game does have a classic you have to lose a boss fight on purpose coming up here for Mama Kong, so we are taking some damage with those little mob enemies who do tend to have a little bit better DPS than our actual main bad guy. Normally, if this was a PB attempt, I probably would wait until that bar gets to dang near 0, but I don't trust Kong that way in a marathon setting, so we're going to leave a little bit of green there just in case. And just like that, I've talked over it, we are out of bounds. It's really that simple. When creating this game, Game Mill, and boy, is that ever an apt title. Once they churned this one out, they probably were well aware that you could do this. There's a lot of opportunities to go out of bounds where you can. So rather than actually address that, they just slapped a frankly aggressive number of invisible walls all over the map. Anytime you see me doing... Oh, sure. It is 16 by 9. No problem. Squish Kong, wide Kong, it's all what you're seeing here.
It's a perfectly balanced game.
Yeah, exactly. So we are all good. And so far, out of boundsing with the proper needed gusto. We are doing a little bit of, it may not be apparent to the uninitiated, but I am taking things a little bit safe, believe it or not. Normally, when you are hopping around here, you want to do a combination of hops and dashes with kind of reckless abandon because, hey, you know, if you mess it up, just restart. We're not that far into the run. This game does have a little bit of a perilous relationship with safety saves, so we are being a little bit careful because that tutorial sure does have a lot of opportunities to get trapped between ground and invisible wall. So here we are. We're already past the worst of it. We are now going to approach the main antagonist of this game, Gaw, G-A-W, and we will skip a cutscene where we find Gaw killing Daddy Kong, R.I.P., and about to do the same to Lil King Kong. Luckily, Mama Kong is here to save the day. Ooh. Well, maybe... Oh, jeez. Okay. So, King Kong essentially wants to swear revenge, and oh my gosh, there's so many cutscenes to skip here. He was a little Kong, now he is a slightly larger Kong, and he has decided now is the time to enact his revenge on the current Queen of the Dinosaurs, and I guess Skull Island in general, Gaw. That right there saved a glorious 3 seconds, so we are already doing phenomenal here. We're going to shoulder dash over to our one of our first bigger skips here. Shoulder dashing, generally, when you have the opportunity, the best way to go, but I am going to switch here to a long jump because there is a tiny enemy crab here. And dashing into a crab, or really any enemy, does slow Kong down. He takes a moment to revel in his accomplishment. So now that we've jumped over those crabs, we'll go back to a good shoulder dash here. This game, if you pick it up casually, I think the tutorial, and even this moment, might give you a sense, well, this doesn't look too bad. And that's what I thought when I was first playing through the tutorial. Like, it's nothing to write home about, but it wasn't atrocious. That changes when you get to these little segments here where you have to, quote-unquote, clear the zone, and you realize these enemies are, 1, damage sponges, and 2, this is basically the gameplay loop, is killing crabs and other tiny monsters here. Those crabs may have a moment to actually enact revenge for all the smack talk I've been giving, because I am trying to pull off one of the trickier jumps here. And I tend to struggle with it. We're doing okay at the moment, though. Let's get on invisible air. We bonked our head. That's pretty classic. Let's jut out a little bit more. There we go. That's one of the harder ones early on in the run, so we've taken care of that without too much fanfare. Oftentimes what happens to me is I get knocked off the edge and I fall right into the middle of an angry crab group, and they will just pinch the absolute heck out of King Kong here until he is dead, and you have to take the shame of a little bit of a level restart. Our other enemies are, of course, tiny trees. Now, fortunately, Kongs in Skull Island, they are surprisingly light for their size, but that doesn't mean that we can't still have some issues here. They can't climb trees. They sure can neutral jump into them, but sometimes the geometry does not want to play ball. In this case, we want to jump in the middle of this tree. Right. Oh, well, right here. Oh, come on, Kong. You can do it. There we go. And do a little bit more out-of-bounds hopping here. That route you think would be really easy to get on, and yet it is weirdly perilous to the point where I take it very carefully, because there is a little bit of a knockback situation when you hop around here, where sometimes if you're not careful, you will bounce off some geometry so bad that Kong is going to fall back into Angry Crab World, which we want to say goodbye to permanently here. So once again, we're out of bounds. We're doing a little bit of invisible wall navigation here to get to our first and frankly only mid-boss here before we get to the grand finale. We are going to attempt a skip of that boss. For me, it is terribly inconsistent. Fortunately, it does not factor into the estimate because it is a relatively new community skip. So we're going to give it one go. If it works, great. If not, no big deal. We will lay the smackdown on exactly one enemy this entire run, which has its own perks. Let's run over to that. I have no idea why we have to kill anything that isn't related to the dinosaur we're swearing revenge on, but here we are. This is Earth's Gija. He is going to, I actually don't know if it's a he or a she or something else, whatever Gijas are. Let's see if we can pull off the skip here. 1, 2, 3. Interesting. Let's see if we can use this rock to get where we need to go. And oh my god, I did not think that was going to happen. All right, bye, Gija. Forget it. I have no more commentary on you. This is going to be a real short trip, folks. Please clap. That has not been working out for me. So here we are, moving on to the rest of the run. Good gravy. I could probably foible half of this for 5 minutes. Maybe I will. But here we are. We are now in the... I actually don't know what this area is called. We're not going to be here long. Some kind of waterfall valley situation. Once again, you know the drill. We are going to out of bounds. We are not going to destroy all nests or even one nest. We are going to hop climb up some vines here. I think they're vines. Jump on this rock if we can do that. Jump on top of this if we can have it. Now, the fact that I have messed up twice means that we are now about to be attacked by birds. And sometimes they like to get in the way of your very important out-of-boundsing. Here, we got one little bite, and that was okay. Sometimes they will do deeply, deeply funny attacks that will knock Kong. Not just, oh, that one's really dedicated to following me. Huh. And they will knock you all the way back down, which, while pretty insulting to me, the runner, is terribly funny on screen, but no big deal. One little bite, we can handle that. And here we are in the rest of this level, which is going to involve shoulder dashing across the vast green generic landscape of out-of-bounds Skull Island. And you know, one thing when you are learning a Speedromizer game, I've done this event, this is my second event, this is somehow my fourth Speedromizer run though, I always get a little bit of jitters. You know, it is not a run you are familiar with. And you never know when you're going to make a little bit of an issue there. Like, for example, I'm starting to get a little bit lost here in the Great Green Landscape, but we are doing A-okay now. My main jitters for this is not that I did a particular lack of prep in the game itself, but I feel like I did a lack of prep in the lore. I have often said on stream while practicing this that it's kind of a funny story. I don't know why a monkey needs to have revenge in the first place, and I'm not even sure God did anything wrong by the laws of nature. I mean, maybe he just wants some ape meat. Turns out this game is based off a novel within the larger Kong universe. Maybe there was something to this whole I have to kill Queen of the Dinosaurs God. I feel bad that I haven't actually learned that. If I could go back in time, if I had heard about that book earlier, I probably would have read it just so I could give you a bit of a breakdown here. I will say, when I talked about any additional Kong lore a couple days ago in the King Kong community of speedrunners, my teacher for this game, streetbackguy, did make a mention that this game is a metaphor for puberty, to which I replied, wait, are you for real? And he has not yet responded back to me. Which means, of course, I have been dwelling on this fact for a long time, and I guess I could kind of see it. I mean, I think King Kong is really running on pure teenage adrenaline here. He is also rather small. I mean, that's kind of a central issue I have with this game to begin with. So this is a very small Kong. I feel like trees should not be towering over him or even be a benefit for him in terms of jumping around. I mean, he should be bigger than all this stuff. And in fact, if you ever bother to defeat a boss of any kind, he does get a little bit bigger, like incrementally. I think it's literally just setting the scale to like 1.1 or something each time, but that doesn't account for a lot. But, anyway, long OOB over. We are now on to the final area, I suppose. Mountain Wasteland or something to that effect. You can tell they just took a generic, some generic scenery here and painted it red. So red that it even is wearing off on Kong here.
I was gonna say, this looks like a Borderlands 1 world, like...
Yeah, like you could almost say the cell shading here was like intentional, but I highly doubt it. Now we do have our final, well, not quite final, but probably the main thing we could have problems with, and I either get this jump on the first try or the 20th. Either way, we have a lot of time to work with here. Trying to get up on that little lip here, and to do that we have to jump on this tinier rock. And even when we do get up to that rock, we have to do one more little rock here. So let's see if we can pull that off. Yay! All right, not too shabby. A rare
first
middle
try.
Of the road. Yeah, first try. I've had street practice streams where that took like 20, 25 times. So this is fine. We're good. And we're going to climb across these rocks here. Normally, I do a lot of long jumping, shoulder dashing, that kind of thing. But we're in a marathon. I know what's going to happen if I do that. We're going to fall off this thing, and we'll live. But, it's going to be a shameful trudge back to the beginning here. So we're going to continue on to the end of the level here. I'm going to see if I can proc this flower to blow up. I got poisoned by it. The main reason I don't want to get hit by that flower is it slows us down. And, we get hit by spiders, and they stun us. It's not a good time. But now that we're past the spiders, we can go back to glorious shoulder dash. Now, we have to get to our final encounter with Gaw, the dinosaur that we hate. To do that, we have one more hurdle to overcome, and it's another one of those clear the area of enemies until we say you can go on. And once again, we are going to ignore that to the best of our ability, which does require one last little bit of tricky Kong parkour, which usually goes okay, but that might be another first try, fifth try kind of scenario. Now, if you were to check out one of the amazing 10-minute high leaderboard runs, you will see a lot of shoulder dash in this area as well. It is flat, it's pretty shoulder dash friendly. But as you may recall, if you hit an enemy with your shoulder dash, Kong will stop and admire his handiwork, which is not very speedrun conducive. So, for someone like me who could kind of pick this game up for 90 days, I'm just going to do a bit of long jumping. And now that we're clear of all of that, enemy flowers, enemy dinosaurs, we can go back to a bit of shoulder dashing here. So once again, we got to get out of this area, and I believe for an early part of the speedrun history for the Kong community, they did actually do it. They couldn't find an out of bounds. Fortunately, they did find one by the time I got on the scene here. It does involve a long jump here. Messed it up. Let's give it another go. This jump isn't super hard, but there's something about activating a sprint on a tiny rock that, I don't know, for me it feels bad. So I don't really like doing it. But, second try, I can definitely live with that. Now we run up against invisible walls. Fortunately, They didn't get all of them, and Kong laughs in the face of invisible walls. They could have just made the thing an extra 2 feet and it would have been fine, but you know, even in terms of skip mitigation, the game mill got a little bit lazy.
Yeah, I mean, that would have cost an extra $10, so they couldn't afford it. So it wasn't in the budget.
Yeah, by the way, this thing retails for $40. Do not pay that for this game. Wait for it to go on sale or get a key or something, but whatever. We are here, we are fighting Gaw, we are so mad, and we are going to have an epic battle, or we're going to throw rocks. Actually, I like rocks better. Rocks are safe, rocks are consistent, and Gaw is just going to stand there and check out a little bit while we do this. And yeah, this is the rest of the run. So if we have any final updates, I know we're approaching the end of the marathon here. Now is a great time to plug.
So we have one remaining poll going, the Say Blank to Disco, which of course will be resolved by at the end of the marathon. Currently, we are having to say yes to Disco for at a cost of $297. No is at $211.32, so it's definitely still can be caught. Sorry, something interesting was happening.
Yeah, no, we had a quick development, a little bit of a cutscene roar here, and the music has increased in kind. Now we have dramatic rock throwing until we get to time here, which will be called here at the end of the health bar here. But Gaw is still going to take it here. And you know what? We are actually going to get a little bit of a fun cutscene here at the end, kind of showing off a lot of abilities, which we, of course, never get to do, but that's just classic game mill for you. We are, what, maybe 4 or 5 rocks away here. I will call time in 3, 2... Oh, no, 1, now. Perfect. Well, there we go. And you can see Kong doing some epic moves here. I actually kind of get a big kick out of this. We even get a little bit of a So Long Bowser move here. Classic. And now that Gaw is a bit beaten up here, we're going to get the most casual neck snap of all time. Boop. And there we go. Kong has kinged. He is fulfilled his life goal, I guess. So there you go. Kong origin story. Now you know. I don't have a lot of shout outs. I will just give one to the Kong Boys, the server that does all things Kong speedrunning. Not just this game, but a lot of other King Kong games that people actually like. I will also give a shout out to streetbackguy, my teacher. He could not be here on the run today. It's like 3 a.m. where he is, but he did a great job walking me through this, and actually the whole community did. That skip you saw that we pulled off with the worm, there was no tutorial for that. I requested one thinking I could get back to them in a couple of days, and literally 3 different people tried to whip up a video for me in the next hour. So phenomenal group of people. If you have any interest in anything monkey related, please do check them out. They're a lovely group of folks. Otherwise, that is Skull Island for you. A little bit of a shot before what should be hopefully a nice bit of chaser here for the rest of our marathon.
And Lemming, where can people find you on the internets?
Oh, Twitch, YouTube, all the Lemming runs, socials. If you really want to chat with me, though, I mostly hang out in the Quest for Glory Discord, so that's probably where you can find me.
Excellent. And Verts? Well, you just answered that previously. Also, you just heard a transition thing. I just didn't notice because I'm looking in various chats. Live, everybody!
Follow Verts anyway. I'm sure it's a great time.
Yeah, Verts is lurking in our Discord chat, and none of you can hear him. We will go ahead and bring it back to the interstitial now. Thank you again for the awesome run, Lemming. All right, everybody. Just to remind you, we are raising money for QMUNITY. All donations are going to that. QMUNITY is British Columbia's queer, trans, and true spirit resource center, providing a safe space for two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersexual, and asexual folks and their allies. They improve the lives of their communities and provide them with support through an array of programs and services. We help connect folks through volunteer opportunities and peer support groups. The community also provides education services and queer inclusivity training through publications, one-on-one consultations, and interactive workshops. You can donate by going to speedromizer.live/donate or typing !donate in the chat to have the bot generate a link for you. We do still have that one donation poll going. Are we going to be saying yes or no to Disco? That is open, to the best of my knowledge, until the end of the Hollow Knight rando, which we've got closing things out. So, if you dislike Disco, then you still have a chance to express that dislike in a pecuniary manner. We're going to go ahead and throw it on over now to a Twitch ad, because we also get to any of the profits we make from Twitch during the event also go to QMUNITY. So ads is free money, folks. Theoretically, I've queued the ad. All right. So while we're still getting a couple of things set up here for Project Gotham, I do want to just remind you that if you'd like to help with future events, we open volunteer signups before our events. They are announced on our Discord, so keep an eye on our server if you're interested in helping the show. You can get to our Discord at speedromizer.live/discord. Keep in mind, this is a volunteer sign up. It's not applications, it's not auditions, it's not tryouts. If you are as a member of our community attempting to offer your own time, we will try to get you involved as much as possible. If I can get my brain to read the blurbs, the text on the screen. This is a pre-written blurb, darn it. We always love people helping us, and we create an inclusive process for anyone to be a part of in this event, no matter their experience. That is why it's called a sign-up and not an application. So if you're interested, absolutely the easiest way to take care of things here. I'm going to check to see where we're at here in terms of tech. Are we good to go for Project Gotham?